Testing, one, two. Testing, testing. So, now, now we are on lesson number 4, and we are going to talk about it this morning. Lesson number 4, and and um, I don't like that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. That should be better. So, now we are on lesson number 4, and we are going to talk about the Lord hears and delivers. That's the lesson we are having this week. So our memory text comes from the book of Psalms chapter 34 and verse number 17. And it says, "The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears and delivers them out of their troubles." So in other words, the memory text says, "The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears and delivers them out of their troubles." So in other words, this week's lesson is trying to encourage us and tells us that our God hears when we cry unto Him. He will listen to us. Even when we think He's not there, actually, it tells us He is there. Despite the fact that we think that He's very far away, He is with us all the time. Now, I begin the lesson this morning, maybe to open up. Maybe there was something special this week as you are reading the lesson. This is the time maybe you have the opportunity to tell us what was special about these lessons, this week's lesson. Maybe something that you picked from the lesson this week.
It's wonderful that He's always right there, close, when we call on Him.
Okay.
Whether we're happy or even if we're sad, He's there and He knows.
Okay.
Always. The heavenly phone number is
The heavenly phone number, that is Palm and Helmet's number. They used to talk about it. Call me when you're in trouble, and I will answer you. Yeah, so that is the evening number. Anything else? I want to open up the discussion because I know you read the lesson this week. So I want to open up the discussion for this week. Okay. I don't think that you expect anything less.
I mean, it just reassures you of everything that you're reading about. Yes, yes. But the big thing is, you deserve it. Not
Okay.
that you don't deserve it.
Uh-huh.
You deserve it.
And actually, that's sometimes we limit ourselves. If we, He made it to us, Okay. When God was giving all these promises, they were meant to us, not anybody else. They were meant for us to claim those promises, you know. So, as we go through this week's lesson, um, I will approach it in a very different way, but of almost the same way with the order in the lesson. But I will want to us to be involved, because I don't want to be like I'm in a lecture hall, where I talk and talk. It will be of no consequence to me. Because the class is for everybody, and that's why it's called the Bible study. And I don't know everything. I also learn out of you from your contribution. The Lord knows. Let's go to Psalms 139. The Lord knows. What does this God know? Maybe everything. Of course, we know that He is all knowing. God, the Lord knows. Even if you try to hide under the rock, He still sees you, You can't avoid it. So Psalms 139, I think that will be the place where we begin with, so that we can kickstart our lesson this morning. So Psalms 139. Or if someone has found it, you can read beginning from verse 1 to verse number 10.
O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thoughts far off. You comprehend my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word on my tongue. But behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You have hedged me behind and before, and you laid your hands upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is so high, it is high, I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend into heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell on the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me.
So when you read verse 1 to verse number 4, there are things which comes out clearly, and the psalmist has talked about it, like, you all know everything about me or about us. He talks about God knows everything, because when you read the verse 1, and you know me, Adonai, you have propped me and you know me. You know when I sit and when I stand up. He knows when you sit down. He knows when you eat. He knows all your activities. So God knows everything about us. What we are about to do, what we are thinking in our mind, God knows it all. And then verse number 5 and verse number 6. You have hemmed me in both behind and in front, and laid your hand on me. Such wonderful knowledge is beyond me, far too high for me to reach. we will never understand the care that God has for us. He protects us. He has protected us from the evil one. We might even not know, but that is exactly what the psalmist. And when you go to verse number 7 to 10, there is no place too far to avoid your care. There is no place. Where can I go to escape your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I climb up to heaven, you are there. If I lie down in shore, you are there. If I fly away with the wings of the dawn and land beyond the sea, you are still there. If I say, let not darkness surround me, let the light around me be night, even darkness like this is not too dark for you, because our God is the light. He's the one who created light. So there is nowhere you can hide from God. So God knows it all. You know, David knew that his entire life is transparent before God. You know, even before you were born, he knew that you were to be born. Because he says, God already knew him before he was born, since God was who made him grow in the mother's womb. I think I'll not need it. I'll just mute it. I think my voice is loud enough. And for my online viewers, they are taken care of, and everybody here can hear me this morning. So, David was talking about all this. You know, since God made him grow in the mother's womb, because he's our creator. He knew even before you were conceived. And then when we go verse 11 to 12, although we would like to hide from God, there is no place so dark that it will hide us from God. There is nowhere we will hide ourselves, because God will be there. From even when we were conceived, God took care of us. Even when you are a tiny little baby, God took care of you. You grew up. You know, there's some things that in life, you know, when a baby is born, maybe, I don't know, average is about how many pounds? 1 or 2 pounds or 3 pounds? Huh? 5, 6 pounds. If she's a girl, maybe 3 to 4 pounds there, somewhere there. A very tiny person, a little human being. Then all of a sudden you see how, you know, the kids grow so fast. 1 year, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years. You know that the guy has become a whole human being, you know. That's the miracles of God, you know. You know, science have demonstrated those things, but they can't explain, you know, the DNA composition, you know. Like every one of us is unique. Even identical twins, they are not the same, you know. Even if they look so identical, they are very unique in their own ways. And that's the wonderful work of God. I like this Saturday, actually. There is God is so close to his people and to his creation, both in heaven and on earth. Though he has established his throne on heaven and rides on the clouds, he is also near to all who call upon him, to all who call upon him in truth. So we can be able to see, God is so close to us. Even if we think that heaven is very far away from us, but God is so close to us. He's close to us if we can know how to call upon him so that we can be able to commune and talk to him.
But we have to ask him.
Definitely, you have to ask. So you will have to know how to ask him all these things. He is full of supply of all those things that we need in our life. He created us. So he knows all our needs in life. But we have to know how to ask him to supply unto us.
But we also have to trust him that he knows what we need and when we need it in his time frame.
Trust is a very important thing. Yeah.
I was just going to think, and to think of his majesty,
Uh-huh.
awesome, wonderful he is. And yet, he wants to listen to us. He wants to listen to me. Yes, he does.
Because you are very important to him.
And he is to me.
Yep. You think about him, God himself. He's powerful. Majesty and splendor belongs to him. But yet, he finds time to listen to you. Just a mere person like me. Okay? He finds time. But because you are so precious to him, that's why. Any comment? Now I'm opening the class to the Sunday and Saturday. If you have something to say, because I think we have talked about Sunday and Saturday. Saturday afternoon and Sunday, we have talked about it. I loved also verse number 24 of Psalms 139. I love that if you fail, God will make your paths straight. Is this your experience with God? If you fail, God will make your path straight.
He never gives up on me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, that brings up the point that God provides,
Uh-huh.
but on our behalf, we have to accept. But we don't accept what he's offering, then we're not getting any of the benefits that he wants us to have.
Okay. Okay. Let's transition to Monday if there is no question. The Lord cares. The assurance of God's care. Maybe let's see. The Lord cares. What comes into your mind when you are reading that? The Lord cares.
The moment we get up in the morning, so we lay our heads down.
Okay?
He never leaves me. No matter if I don't, do my part, he's always there.
Uh-huh. So let me read Psalms 121. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip, or he watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber or nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. You know, the psalmist was talking about, I lift up my eyes to the mountain. Where does my help come from? And you see now, verse number 2 says, his help comes from the Lord, the one who created the heavens and the earth. You know, have you ever imagined the protection that you get from God? Have you ever imagined, some of the things, we look at it, God ensures that even the sunlight, He gets at the right temperatures for us, He protects us. Sometimes there are things we take for granted. So He sets a good environment for us to exist in that environment. You might never know, but He protects us. He protects us. He supplies the rain so that we can be able to have water to drink. He provides all manner of things. He sends angels to protect you. Even at night when you lock all your doors, you set all the alarm system. You are trying to be self-sufficient, but it's God who ensures no intruder comes at your door, to your cars and all those things. So when you think about how the Lord cares about us, you will be, surprised when you start counting the protection. There's so many. Maybe you are healthy. He has protected you from sickness, and many, many other things. One thing I picked from there, no matter how desperate your situation is, God still hears you. God still hears your cry. Even when your situation is so desperate, God still hears you. He acts on your behalf. And there is hope for everyone who seeks the Lord's favor. There is hope.
He even knows what we're going to ask. He knows the answer.
Yeah, exactly. Why are people silent in this class? Let's talk about it. Maybe what's your experience with God's care? Because we are not reading this for stories. We are reading also to apply in our life situations. The psalmist talked about it. David talked about how God was so close to him. So what is your experience with God today? Yeah, because you see, this David wrote about this, his experience. But what is your experience about God's care today?
See, my experience is with my niece Judy right now.
Mm-hmm.
With her in the hospital, and now she's in rehab. And I could not get through these days without asking the Lord to be with me and give me the strength Give me the wisdom. Give me the words that I need to say to her to encourage her. And it's amazing how I've been able to get through these days, and so far so good with her. So God has been with us the whole time. But we have to be patient because He's got His time frame. And that's one thing I don't have a lot is patience. I want to see something happen now.
Instant solutions. Okay? God is on our side and actually is defending us. Okay?
Reading right here where it says, "In not distress I cry unto the Lord," or most of us, all of us.
Okay.
When we have a distress, we turn to the Lord and He hears.
Okay.
He's the only one in the world that can hear us all again.
Exactly. We're in distress. He still hears. He listens to us. Okay.
And yeah, He's with us all the time, no matter what sad, happy, tribulations, trials. And like this week, I fell listening to my knee. Thank God that I did break up. I didn't have a broken bone. And then I think He's always there. And then I had to go Thursday to get an mammogram. They found something. We went to surgery last week, and they had to do further tests, and that's benign. Thank God. It was an issue that was overlapped. And I was crying and praising God. Tears of joy, and just being with everybody, like, the family, your prayers, all the prayers that you prayed, the ones you pastors was just there. Like, just words that sometimes a words I can't express with my heart. So happy. But even our daily bread, with everything in this world, he provides for everything. The bread that we eat every day, the corn, the seed. He makes it grow with the sunshine and everything He created. That's so awesome. He's just so amazing.
Yeah, that's those are the things I want to hear this morning. The care. The Lord cares. Maybe Gary has more interesting story about him.
When you say God is with you all the time, with God with Adam and Eve all the time. He's watching over, so.
But He gives us the right to make decisions. He does not make those decisions for us. But He is there with us all the time.
Adam and Eve know that God is with them there all the time. He felt His presence when He came walking in the garden.
Okay?
You know something? Even when I mess up with things and I make wrong decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that God is there. Just because I was the dumb one and made the decision to do something that wasn't right, doesn't mean that God was not there for me. But I certainly found out that God was there when I had to put things right. He showed me how to do that. Um, that's the sinful world, I'm afraid. We are all sinners and we just don't make good decisions sometimes.
But then when Jesus is on the cross, He says, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? Was He there with Him at that time? So did Jesus feel the presence of Him?
Now, that is a difficult question for me. I don't know. Sal.
Well, I think I was trying to remember your first question was God's protection, was it?
Yeah.
And so kind of hit on it. But I look at God's protection as, the Bible it says that all have sinned, and our righteousness is righteous as filthy rags. So when you look at it that way, then you have to say, well, why does God protect us then? And then you have to, I know what you're made in the image of God, so what if you look at yourself and you have children, little children? Do you protect them because they're always doing right? Do you protect your grandchildren when they're small because they never do anything wrong? You protect them because you love them. And that's the way I look at my Heavenly Father. He protects me because He loves me. Not because, I have any righteousness or deserve to be protected. He protects me because He loves me. And then the second question about, is Jesus always there? I think, or is God always there? And I believe He's always there. But the problem, why we sin or why we feel He turns away from us is because we seem to turn away from Him. The devil brings up some temptations, whether it's lust, whether it's money, whether it's pride, and then we tend to forget about what God said and do what the devil says. He lures us into what He wants us to think. But God is still there. And as far as Christ on the cross, God was still there, but Christ couldn't feel His presence because He took on our sins. He couldn't feel God's presence there.
The sin separates us from God. So what separates us from God is our iniquities, our sinful life, or from history is what separates us from God. God is my refuge because the Lord cares. He's always at our side to defend us. He will take care of us at all times and in all places. So where do we go to seek help during our difficult times? Sometimes we make mistakes, and there's nothing wrong to seek help from a family member or friend. But ultimately, and we know, human beings, we are limited. There are things we can't do. All of them, like friends,